In the Gospel of John, chapter 20, verse 6 and 7, the Gospel writer says, "He saw the strips of linen lying there, as well as the cloth that had been wrapped around Jesus' head. The cloth was still lying in its place, separate from the linen." Have you ever wondered why St. John was so careful to mention this cloth in detail? And secondly, he's the only Gospel writer to speak about it. Hello, my name is Dr. Mark Hobson. I am an ordained deacon, a college professor, and a Christian writer. And I became fascinated by this line from John's gospel. And so I began researching this cloth and found that it's called the Mantle of Jesus, and it still exists. It's a sacred relic, and it's known as the Sudarium of Oviedo, kept in a monastery in Spain. And I also found that scientists said this cloth has the same blood type and similar DNA as the famous Shroud of Turin held in Italy that supposedly wrapped around the body of Jesus. Both cloths have the blood type of AB. So I began to speculate that this was no coincidence, and faith told me that both of these sacred linen cloths must contain the resurrected power of Jesus, his DNA. So I wrote a novel called The Mantle of Jesus Christ, based on this idea and research. And in that book, based on scripture, tradition, science, and legend, I speculated that the mantle was meant to be used by 12 believers in history for secret missions with Jesus. I then began St. John as the first wearer of the mantle, and in the present time, I imagined a learned and faithful college dean named Dr. John Mark Hopkins wore the mantle with Jesus and undertook a mission to heal the scourge of addiction in the modern world. The most exciting and sacred part of this work is the dialogue of Jesus and John Mark. I felt so honored to write the words of Jesus, to speak for him about this mission for healing others through the power of the mantle. Now, while wearing the mantle, the 12 believers share extraordinary gifts from Jesus that enable them to carry out the mission that he's entrusted to them. They speak with Jesus. They follow his directions. They do his will. This concept excites me. I hope it inspires you as much as it inspired me to write about it. Now, if this story of faith, hope, and redemption, and the continuing presence of Christ in our world speaks to you, I urge you to check out The Mantle of Jesus Christ, found on my website at www.drmarkhobson.com, where you'll also find my other books, videos, and reflections. You can also look at Amazon, where I have a page of my books. And I also want you to know that a portion of sales proceeds of all my books go to the Gather New Hampshire Food Pantry. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you today.